Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast. For each week, we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. It's the last Wednesday in March, and as I'm getting ready for my new headphones, listen, folks, if I start fiddling with my ears, it's because after last week's show ended, my same headphones that I've used as of June will have been 6 years. I took them out of my ears and I sat them down and they fell apart. They've listened to that much of my crap that they couldn't handle it anymore. So to make sure somebody else could listen to my crap, we found somebody who's a buddy of mine that I've met through other networking things. I told you, Tim, there's no reasoning behind how I introduce people. It's just as whatever I come up with at this moment. So Tim is way cooler than me. I'm only have principal behind my name. He actually added in front of my name. He has CEO. Chief Effectiveness Officer. That's where we're going to go with that one. I like that even better than Chief Executive. But Tim runs a local company here. They do some credit card processing, but their big core thing is actually they do payroll processing. It's called Recalibrate HCM. And Tim's going to be joining us talking about how do we pivot our careers from what we've been doing to maybe it's time for you to get into something else. So joining us all the way from parts unknown in the capital region. And Tim, I should have asked this before, so we're going to see if I screw up your last name, Mr. Tim Beadnell.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. It's Beadnell, but it's close. I
debated that. I debated the bead, and I was like, nah, it's probably completely something different than what I think it is. So let's go with that. So, all right. So Tim and I are going to be talking about how do we pivot our careers to other positions. Is it worth it? I mean, sometimes it is. I honestly believe sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. You just sometimes need somebody to explain it to you. So real quick, before we get into all that, as always, folks, we got the big board over my right shoulder for Sticker and a Cause. You got something you believe in, something you're supporting, you want other people to know about, make sure you reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. Our website is theabovethebarpodcast.com. Our email is theabovethebarpodcast@gmail.com. Reach out to us. Let us know what you got going on. And if you got a sticker, I'll give you the address and I'll read about you live here on the air. I left a sticker upstairs. I just thought about that. It is a place called the Awesome Card Shop in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're into sports trading cards or anything like that, they are amazing. They do a box a day challenge. And they just added this thing called a subscription thing where they'll send you out a box. It's pretty awesome. I got some of my own cards sitting right here. This is a pretty good one. Lodestar. This is Victor I can't even. You want to talk about a named art? Victor Wembanyama. But I cannot never pronounce it.
Wembanyama. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Wembanyama. Yama. Because I know it's Yama at the end. So, and I like sports cards. But make sure you're checking them out. Great group of guys. A lot of fun. They have a really cool thing if you ever go to their shop where you can pay $20. You pick 3 tickets out of a bucket. But for each time you guess the number on the ticket, if you get it right, and it's like 1 to 400, each time you get it right, you get another pull. But if you can guess all 3 tickets in a row, you get the entire showcase full of stuff and they just give it all to you. It's pretty awesome for $20. So make sure you're checking them guys out. We got to talk about the people that pay the bills around here, folks. And that's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, Delmar, and Clifton Park. North America's largest custom window treatment company, and everything from blinds, shades, shutters, drapery, even do window tint and security films. And they just added a new product company called CrimSafe, which does security door screens for the screen doors, for sliding doors, for windows. If you have a commercial space or your personal space, it's pretty neat, folks. If you ever get a chance, it's CrimSafe, CrimSafe. We got a couple days left here in the month of March. They're still running their buy 2, get 1 free sale. And as always, if you let them know that you're there to belly up to the bar, they're going to give you an additional 5%. So make sure you're reaching out to Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, Delmar, and Clifton Park, your number one place for window treatments. All right, Tim, all the fun stuff is done. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to be here on your show. I got to admit, first ever podcast. I've never done
Is it
podcast.
really? Come
Yeah, I mean, first ever. So I'm popping my cherry with you, Sean.
on. Look at that. Ruggedly handsome gentleman like you, and this is your first. I don't believe it.
It's
Is that the line you use with? Is that the line you use with everybody? Listen, this is
Nope.
my first time. Don't worry about it. I'm just learning.
It's not, but it's yeah, it's my first podcast, but I know we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Now that just brings up this question. So, first podcast, what were you thinking as you kind of were coming on here? What was your thoughts?
I was just thinking I wanted the technology to work and get on. That's once that works, I'm good. I don't mind. I know one of the number one fears for anybody, right, is public speaking. That's never been mine, right? I've always had a strength of public speaking. And then since we adapted to this virtual world, I was running a much larger organization. So 12 hours a day, I was on these video conferences for years. So I think you just get used to it. So usually as soon as the technology's working, the mic's working, you can see people, I'm good to go. So that was my only thought of, I hope this works.
It's funny you say that, because I have the exact same fear, and this is probably over 300-400 podcasts I've done, and I have the exact same fear of, please technology just work.
Just work.
I don't know what. So I gave a little bit of a background about your business. Did I hit it pretty well on nail on the head?
Yeah, I mean, the core of what we do is it's outsourced payroll processing, HR software, anything from hire to retire, full suite. So if people have heard of big box companies like a Paychex, ADP, I mean, that's exactly what we do, except, real quick, I mean, I feel like in this industry, but a lot of industries, right, there's companies have really lost the personal touch. It's gone to AI chatbots as the first line of defense, outsourced call centers to India, Pakistan. I've been in the industry a long time, and I felt this need of there's this gap of actually service. So payroll, if you think of any business, payroll is your largest expense, right? And it's very complex, complicated industry. So when you need service has gone way downhill in this industry. And I've seen it on a national level. I know every platform, every company out there. So we really at Recalibrate HCM believed there was a void in the market, and we're filling that void. And what I tell people is we're going in the opposite direction of the market. So where the market's gone, hey, we'll give you true SaaS, right? We'll give you software. Good luck getting service behind it. We're going in the opposite direction. So dedicated specialists, average tenure in my team is 20 years in the industry.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking to a dedicated person who knows in and out compliance, HR software, payroll. And they're honestly, I don't say this to beat my chest, but they're 6-figure salaries. It's a different compensation model. So it's all been organic growth. We don't market and advertise, but what I've seen is the market is craving that because the service is bad and this has gone downhill in this industry. But honestly, Sean, I think it's a lot of industries, most industries. And think about your own personal life. Like,
oh God,
I can't call anybody anymore. I can't get a hold of anyone. I'm AI chatbots or call centers where people can't understand. And I personally, like, I'm not that old. I'll be 45 in May. Like, I get extremely frustrated because I don't have the time. Like, I'm the type who still wants to talk to a person. Mm-hmm. So I built a company and created a company of kind of how I am in my personal life, right?
It's funny you say that. And look, folks, if you're just joining us, you want to know more about what Tim's got going on or about this subject, you can drop it right in the comments here, or you can check him out on recalibrate.hcm.com. That's his company. And it's funny you say that about that more personalized touch. I think most people know I own the budget blinds that I advertise about. And I actually had somebody recently say to me, well, we haven't even looked at pricing. We you probably don't mind, or you probably, what'd she say? You probably hate those people that go online and purchase window treatments. I said, no, I love them. She was like, huh? I said, yeah, because you're going to screw it up. And she was like, what? I'm like, yeah, like this is what I do all day long. It's the only thing I do. I go in, I measure, I put it in. And even we, I wish I was perfect, but even we sometimes miss, a spot on a window that should have been a 16th of an inch. And guess what? In my world, a 16th of an inch can change everything.
Yeah.
And we might miss that. And I was like, could you imagine how much money those companies are making off of people who screwed up measurements completely? And once you've bought it, they're not taking it back. You just got to buy it. And then you end up calling me and going, can you help me? And I go, no, I can come and measure properly and be responsible for everything. So I know exactly what you mean 100%. And even the call center, that's a big conversation. I want to talk about that for a second because that's a big conversation in my world. Because some owners are one man shows, a man with a van, as they say, and then there's others that are 125 employees. Uh, well, hello over in YouTube world, uh, and we talk about this all the time. That some of them like, oh man, I love these virtual assistants, like where it's an AI assistant, and I'm like, how does that handle personal questions like, hey, what about this and what about that? So I have now my assistant, she doesn't live here in the capital region, but she's a real person and we talk all day long and we work
Yeah.
stuff like that real person who can really tell you about things. It makes a difference.
Yep, I think the personal touch is dying. It's gone. Talking to a human who knows what they're talking about too. Though some of people in my space, even when you can talk to a human, they're no knock. It's just a data entry hourly employee
Right.
who might not have the experience or training to answer questions. So then you're navigating and getting bounced around, or they're getting back to you. That drives me nuts. But you think of like look, AI is here and it's here to stay, and you got to pivot. Right. And, so we have plenty of AI in our software, but that doesn't mean, you're dealing with an AI chatbot when you need service or support. But just today, I got thrown to a chatbot for something else. I asked it a question. It said flat out, like, we can't help you with that. And I was like, what's the point? What am I doing here? I just want to talk to somebody. So, again, I know which way the market's going, but I'm betting in the payroll space that AI can't take over payroll, and people still want service. People still want to be serviced in this space. So with us, I mean, it's been an industry I've been in a long time, but there's massive opportunity in this industry. That's what kind of got me into it. But if you have a business with 1, 2, 3 employees, or if you have a business with 300 employees, we service anywhere in between and more. And people still want to talk to people, I guess, is my point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were joking about it before the show. Questions like, "Oh, hey, my employees are commission-based employees. I paid a commission. Now there's a problem with the customer. Can I do a chargeback?" And I mean, I always thought, well, yeah, you do a chargeback anywhere. You can do a chargeback. And then I found out some states don't allow chargebacks. Or, well, how the hell does that work? Why are you playing in and all these different things? If I can't talk to a real person who can explain it to me and pull the emotions out of it for me, that's tough for a guy like me because I want to what do you mean?
Yeah, I want to talk. I mean, it was really refreshing today. I had a prospect who they just lost an employee, so then I think their timeline has to change of them implementing, but the guy was definitely old school, but I was like, oh my God, that's the way I operate. But you don't see people operate this anymore. He shot me an email. He's like, why don't we get on a call? And I'm like, perfect. You never see that anymore. You see people just want to go back and forth via email and nothing gets accomplished. We got on a call. He told me the whole story. He's like, hey, we lost our employee. Let's, you got to call me back in 2 weeks because we got to start implementation. And I'm like, I go, listen, do you know how refreshing it is that you just wanted to get on a call with me as opposed to just go back? Now, you explained it to me. We're good. I'll call you in a couple of weeks, as opposed to people want to hide behind emails, chatbots. I'm not, and that might work for some. I'm just saying I have a different mentality. And I believe that the market is craving more interaction. So
I agree.
In my industry and a lot of industries. So,
I think that's across the board in every industry. I think one of the things that's happening regularly is we've pushed so much to the world of AI and to the world of emails and all these other things that we're losing that individual touch. And when I say that, folks, I'll be honest with you, I don't care if somebody's overseas or not. If they know their business, if they know what they're doing, and they can communicate with me. I'll tell you the one that drives me more nuts than anything, and I know we're not talking about pivoting careers yet, folks, is I can't stand companies, and in your industry, ADP is a notorious one for this, where Monday Tim is my account manager. Tuesday, Sue is my account manager. And then I get another email on Thursday that says Joe is my account manager, but I can't get a hold of Joe. And I'm still getting emails from Sue. And when I'm like, "Are you my account manager?" She's going, "Yeah." And it's like, who's
Yep.
running that? I can't. That absolutely is one of those things in those bigger companies that drives me bonkers. That's why I like, how local can I be? Like, it's your company. Tell me who I'm working with. If you know your employee for 20 years is leaving the industry, you're going to give me, they're going to tell you far enough ahead and you're going to tell me, or they're
Yeah.
dead. They died. And it
Yeah.
just, with nothing we can do about it.
I think the bar, you talk about above the bar podcast. I think the bar has become so low in service. So like if I give references out all the time for, prospects, and like call 200 of them if you want, see what they say about us, and they'll rave about us. But sometimes like, are we that great, or is just the bar so low? And I think it's a combination. I do think we service the hell out of our clients and we have our priorities intact. But I also think the bar is so low because people have gotten used to just poor service and it's normal. Right. So I'll just deal with it when I haven't gotten used to it. It drives me insane.
No.
And people know one thing about me, I'm hyper responsiveness, right? Like you get in touch with me, I'm going to respond. Like it's wild to me, right? Like I deal with people all the time. Like just today, I texted someone who was like, we had a conversation Thursday. You were supposed to get me something Friday. I'm being patient. It's now Wednesday. Like, but that's normal. That's like normal. And in my world, like I would have got it to you Friday. This we talked about. So, I think the bar is real low, man. I think it's become real low, and I think it's normal. And I don't know if I could do anything. I got two young boys, 11 and 9, and I'm trying to, teach them the opposite of mediocrity and the bar. And yeah, I don't know.
You have to, we have to. But that kind of feeds into my next question. So obviously you weren't born and handed a company. You built this thing. Were you in this space beforehand, or tell me, because a lot of people I think out there, post-COVID, we kind of saw it a little bit more. Then there was this, well, shit, my COVID business of selling, custom knit socks is not really going to last anymore. And they went back to their real industries. And now I think some people are craving to make that pivot again, because we had that spell of, you probably saw it. I was in the staffing industry at the time, where it was like, oh, if you're at a company for longer than 2 years, you're wasting your time. But employers like us, if you come to me and you've only got a year or two in every company and you got 10 years experience, so I'm going to be like, I don't want you.
Yeah.
So what was it that brought you to your pivot, and where did you pivot from?
Yeah, I've had a couple pivots in my career, but the one in my industry, I actually had the opposite of where you used to get experience from a company 2-3 years and then go out, or 12, 14 months of people job hopping. I actually started as an entry level sales executive in the payroll industry at a former company. I then took a run of 12 years and ended up as the chief revenue officer, right? So head of sales, chief revenue officer, every sort of frontline leadership to regional VP to the whole nine in a national payroll company. And so I did it it's one of the reasons was I talented and I work hard, probably, but I also stuck, right? I remember every single time I was getting recruited for another job, I ended up getting a promotion and staying. And was that the right decision or not? I think it worked out okay for me. There were times where I could have left for more money, this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, I was with a company, took a nice run. We were a very large privately owned payroll provider. What I found since COVID was all the large either took private equity money or publicly traded in this space. And that's when post-COVID service really went downhill. But I got out and we had a good exit, and, 12-year run is a long run. I was actually doing some consulting and I was doing some other things for a bit before, Recalibrate really, got full steam ahead. What I realized is I was running away from an industry where I was an expert. And all of a sudden I was like, light bulb. I go, what am I doing? Like I'm literally running from an industry where I'm an expert. So I jumped back 2 feet in this space, this payroll space, which is a very competitive industry.
I can't even imagine.
It's super competitive, but one thing that always attracted me, there's enough to go around for everyone to eat well. And meaning if you have one single employee and you got to pay them one way or another, because we do a lot more than just payroll and tax filing for outsourced payroll and tax filing, but the core is payroll. But it could, how are you finding candidates? How are you onboarding them? How are you, enrolling in benefits? How are you tracking their time and attendance solutions? There's a lot more performance management, learning management. There's all this human capital management is the buzzwords. That's why it's called Recalibrate HCM. But bottom line, it pulled me back in, and I've had a blast getting back in. I forgot how much I love the industry, but I was trying to make that pivot and do something else, and then I realized, like, wait, this is your background, your expertise. That was the second pivot in my career. I had another pivot earlier on, but I'll kind of turn it back to you because I just rambled for a bit.
No, listen, I was enjoying the ramble because it gets my brain going. And Orchid said it's a big promotion and job change. Good job. I was actually, as you were saying it, I guess I never when I think of a payroll company, I think of somebody that I gave you the hours that my people worked and you made sure that they got paid, which honestly, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I could do that over on QuickBooks and tell QuickBooks he makes $20 an hour, he worked 40 hours, $800, take the taxes out and give the thieves their money, which is the state and the federal government, give those scumbags, thieves their money, and move on with it. But what you're talking about is absolutely completely different. I never thought about, like, hey, we're tracking hours, we're tracking check-in times, we're tracking
clients,
all this other stuff that I never even thought about.
Yeah, and that is the core, and that's why a CPA will say, "Hey, you're an owner operator of an S corp, and you got to put yourselves on payroll." We'll do that, one employee. Just do payroll, and we do the tax filing work, and we take tax liability. But kind of full suite as you go more up market, there's a lot more. Payroll's just the core. It's from hire to retire. You're talking the employee life cycle. We have software and servicing that software at every part of the employee cycle. So you just think, how are you finding candidates right now, right? So applicant tracking software that's tied to 300 plus job boards of Indeed, Monster, all those things, right? Then when you choose the candidate, you electronically onboard them into the software. How are you tracking their time? How are you enrolling in benefits? How are you tracking their performance? How are they going through online courses, their HR file? All the way to, obviously paying them and even offboarding them. That is like human capital management, the full suite. But people just still, I thought about putting payroll into our name, right? Or, it's like, do people know what Recalibrate HCM is? And probably not. Mm-hmm. But I didn't also want to just be another just basic payroll.
Well, you're not a one trick. It's not a one trick pony kind of.
Yeah, it's full suite. It's what we do. But I think we've grown, and we've grown very organically. But like in the capital region, I'm the only one actually selling myself because I have sales reps in different parts of the country. But most of the part, I've invested all of our money in operations, getting these top-notch people who actually service and touch the clients. But I think I'm having fun getting back out in market, and I think people see the passion behind it because there's no joke. I am who I am. I was presenting to this large group of CPAs like a week ago, and this one woman goes, "Well, you got to appreciate that Tim's just so direct." She's like, "I kind of like it. It's refreshing." I'm like, "That's great, because you either like me or don't. You might not like me, but at least I'm direct."
I get that same thing. Listen, you and I, that's probably why you and I get along, because I get the same thing where people are like, I have friends that are like, "Dude, and then all of a sudden this random person like, fuck him. Like, why don't you like Murph? I don't know, something about that dude. Fuck him." And I'm like, and then they'll come to me and be like, "Dude, did you upset Joe?" And I'm like, I don't even know who Joe is. Like,
yeah.
Did I meet the guy? They're like, "Yeah, he's the guy that's been sitting next to you for 2 weeks." I'm like, "Sorry, man. I didn't know I upset you." Fuck you. I'm like, okay.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who
I know exactly what you mean, bro. I know exactly what you mean. Now, so in this pivot though, I'm a firm believer, like, some people are like, listen, folks, your parents lied to you. You can't be anything you want to be. You can't. Your parents lied to you. They just didn't want to hear you complain. I tell my children all the time, if you're going to tell me you're going to try something, please don't waste your time, because that just means you're planning to fail. Try means I'm planning to fail. That's all that word means, is I'm going to plan to fail this, but hey, I'm going to go try it. Great. I'm not going to try to be a surgeon. If I ever heard my surgeon go, I'm going to go ahead and try to repair that heart valve for you, I'd be like, dude, go get me somebody else.
Right.
So when you're making these pivots for yourself or other people, what are some, because I can't imagine that people aren't coming to you or have worked for you and like, Tim, I'm going to try to be an underwater basket weaver. Like, what are some of the things that you're telling to these folks when they throw that try word out you? And I don't mean, hopefully I didn't shock you when I was like, try just means you're planning to fail. That's all that word means to me. I plan to fail because I'm trying.
Yeah. So people who are working for me for prospects.
Well, you are just come to you like, hey Tim, you've been successful in leaving a career field and starting
Oh,
something else.
yeah.
How did you do it? How can I do it? I'm really thinking about starting a foot finder account and taking pictures of my toes, man. What do you think? You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I don't have to tell a former Marine about discipline, right? I guess probably you know that word and probably live it and preach it, man. So
every
I
day.
remember I've gotten that before. Just people want these things, right? They want all these things, but like, are they willing to put in the work that it takes? So discipline to me has always been doing the things that you don't want to do and you do it anyways, right? Like I'm a 5 a.m. workout guy every day. I don't feel like
Oh,
getting up at 5, like, but I friggin' do it, right? So, these people want these things. I'm going to try it. I want this company. I want this car. Or are you willing? And I had over 100 sales reps at one point, right? Are you willing to put in the work it takes to actually get it? And I don't think a lot of people are. And I think culture is becoming even worse now of that, honestly. I guess we said it was direct, but one of the things, like I'm a big sports guy. I coach youth sports. I played sports. I played sports in college, right? So I think so I'm over the top with it a little bit with my kids, only because I think it teaches such life lessons.
absolutely.
And I coach every kid the same. It's not about my kids, but I'm so passionate about it because it's like, where do you get the work ethic, the discipline, the teamwork, the, collaboration, everything? Like sports teaches that, right? You're not getting it from, sitting on a video screen or a phone, right? So, and that discipline, right? So, to your point, right? Like you can't just try anything or this and that or plan to fail. Like you got to be willing to commit, put in the work. Like I tell my kids all the time, you can be as good as you want to be, but you got to put in the work, right? And there's always somebody getting better. So you think you're so good, you better put in the work because there's always someone getting better. I don't know. That's just how
What's an
that's
amazing? Listen, that's got to be the approach. I mean, so many people think and the reason I bring it up is I just think about so many times, people. We live in a world where people are like, well, I'm going to go ahead and travel the world now, so that when I'm older, I'll work when I'm older. No, you won't, because I don't know about you, Tim, but I have no interest in hiring a 35-year-old with zero experience who can tell me the color of what the sand in Acapulco looks like because
yeah,
he spent the last 20 years after college or whatever traveling. I don't want you, but I will hire the 35-year-old who's like, yeah, man. So I was 5 years with these guys, 7 years with these guys, spent the last 3 years with another company, looking to get into this space. Oh, okay. You,
right.
you,
They
you like
showed
to work.
some commitment. They had some longevity. It was, I
Yeah.
mean, I used to hire so many people. You look at that, like, it's like, how can we hire you? Your longest 14 months here, 12 months here. And it's like just job hopping. It's like if you left, you're going to do the same thing to us. We're going to invest in you, train you, and then you're just going to leave. There's got to be some commitment, right? And um,
But is
I
that our fault too? That's the other question, though. As a business owner, is that our fault? And here's what I mean by that. Do too many businesses out there, we don't give people the reason to stay because we're already expecting them to leave.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I never looked there. Yeah, there's a lot of justification of why someone's hopping or leaving, for jobs, right? And maybe it was on the business, maybe it was on the culture, maybe they didn't promote somebody who deserves it, or someone else got it, or there was some sort of favoritism. I mean, I think you're probably right. That some of that is on the business. Luckily for me, like my business now is all people that we've worked together in the past, right? So everyone on my team, we've known each other for 10 plus years. And it's a little different mindset. So there's a trust, there's a loyalty factor, and that's all good. But it's not easy finding and retaining good, talented people, especially in today's environment, right?
And once you found somebody that you can deal with socially, I guess is that the right way? Like, I like you as a person. You don't want to lose them that way either. You're like, I'll find somewhere for you. I'll find somewhere for you if I like you personally, because that's just as difficult. Oh, there's my cousin Kathy. Just so you know, she's way, way, way older than me and nowhere near as likable as I am. But she just had a tough one. After 22 years with one company, she's had to re-enter the job market, and not through her own fault. They shut down in her location, and she'll correct me here in a moment because she thinks she has a right to, but as family. But she'll tell. I think they just shut down in her area. They may have offered to move people, but she can't. Like, that's where she's from.
That's tough. And you're seeing more of that, right? It's just you're not just going to snap your fingers. The market was so wild, right? In that 2021, I remember there was like overpaying for talent, and everyone was hopping, and now I think probably everyone's paying for that. Like, it's a correction of the market. So someone like your cousin now loses their job after 22 years, and you used to be able to write your own ticket. Now it's much harder, right? Re-entering and finding companies. I think it's like because there was such an over pivot, in that 2021 post-COVID market.
Yeah, there it is. She was offered to move to Dallas to keep her job, but she lives in Tennessee. Like, that's like that would be like you or me being like, oh man, my company shut down, but you can go to Florida.
Right.
I'm not from there. That's not my people.
Right.
And Orchid's kind of in the same realm. She was in the Marine Corps also, 10 years at Amtrak, and can't physically do her job anymore because her spine, but I still have to drive to work. Because how do you pick? Because where I know her deal is because she doesn't have enough time into the medical system for that company and the union to leave and be able to retire with the benefits. So in these kind of situations, for somebody who has had an exit strategy, done that whole deal, and we're going to talk about PEs in a minute because I have a 50-50 personal thing with PEs. But for somebody that has left, how would you advise somebody who, and listen, I mean, my cousin, 22 years, she's an expert in what she did. Orchid, 10 years on the railroad. Railroad's very difficult, transferable skill because you have to do railroad.
Right.
What are some of the things that you would advise for somebody if they're looking to make that shift to another field or walk away? What's some of the things you would tell them?
Yeah, and I don't think mine's going to be revolutionary, but I mean, it's networking, right? It's just getting out there, talking to many people, joining different groups. So, because that's really how you get, most likely you get offers or connect. It's all through connections. I look at every single job I had or ever was through connections. I remember I ended up in a branch of the governor's office in New York State. It was
I saw that.
Yeah, well, I got appointed. It was appointed position, but it was through someone I met at the gym. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
dude, you got great form when you're squatting, man. Would you like to go ahead and be the communications guy for the senator?
That was it. No, but I mean, everything was all networking. I mean, I started where I had the 12-year run of a former company. Someone referred me in from someone I played softball with, right? Or my first job in New York State was a state job. It was my a friend of my mother's, right? So I mean, so it's just I feel like that's still how you get. That's even more so now to get jobs. You want to talk about AI, like if you're just submitting resumes to some of these companies now, are people even looking at it, right? You're getting shifted out from AI, and like they don't really know you. So it's going to be someone who knows Kathy, for instance, your cousin, and who trusts her, or someone who refers Kathy to someone else, or a referral of a referral of a referral. Right. So, I mean, that's my biggest advice. You got to get out there, do different things, talk to people, network, tell your story, share your story, because that's really how you're going to find your next home.
I think you gave her the answer, Kathy. If I remember right, you played softball in high school, so that's
join a
your
team,
answer.
Kathy. You got to join a softball team.
Got to join a softball team, and then you'll be perfectly fine, and somebody will come right along and be like, you could do whatever you want in Tennessee. It's all taken care of for you.
That's it.
But I mean, I agree with you. I don't think since I retired from the Marine Corps in 2014, my first job was on the railroad, and that was because I met somebody and they were like, "Hey, we'll help you out." My next job was another railroad job because another Marine uh, it referred me. My third job was somebody reached out to me while I was on the railroad. Another Marine was like, "Hey, you want to get back into staffing?" Even when I bought the budget blinds, the guy who helped me get on with Amtrak was the one who introduced me to the guy who sold me my franchises.
Yeah,
I,
same
I
thing.
yeah. Look, she's like, post cancer, no playing these days. That's bullshit. Don't make excuses. See, that's excuses. I don't even want to hear it. You can go coach a girls softball team, can't you? Hmm. She'll give me some kind of rational shit here in a minute. I mean, it's a great point that like you have to get out there and do it. And that's actually how Tim and I met, was through a local networking group that somebody else introduced me to. He was probably the same way. I don't think at this point that Paul has to advertise that thing. Just somebody sends the link to somebody who's like,
Yeah,
show
yeah.
up.
Great networker. Yeah, absolutely. And then you just meet people. I know when I was getting back out on the streets and I'm coming from C-level type executive, you got to humble yourself real quick. I'm a nobody, right? I got to, and I thought to myself, what am I going to do? Okay, well, I've built businesses before, built pipelines and stuff like that. Do all the things, get back out and market, join networking groups, tell my story, and eat humble pie, right? Just get it. And I've been doing that, and met a ton of great connections, have a great channels, but like, you just got to do it. You got to just start. Don't start tomorrow. You start right now. You just got to get out and do it.
And staying with the networking thing as part of the pivot. Um, is there, and what are some of your, I mean, and I honestly, we joked about the softball thing. To me, that's networking.
Yeah.
You're joining a team. There are people from all over the place. They have a simple liked interest on it. Going to the gym, eventually you'll find a gym buddy that you start talking to, and you'll find out, they're in a completely different industry. But for that person who isn't like you and I, who has no problem, I have no problem walking in a room and I'm going to make friends. I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to I'm going to eavesdrop on a conversation I have nothing to do with. And I'm going to be like, "Hey, let me throw my 2 cents in. Sorry about that. I'll leave now." And then they're like, "No, stay. You
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely know nothing about this. Stay with us." What are some of the things that you would say, hey, if you're going to get out in that and network, what's some of the stuff you would say to folks as far as finding those networks?
Yeah. I mean, sort of struggle. Like, I mean, I know some people like, chambers force you to kind of meet people, like local chambers. There's a ton of just networking groups, out there, find one. I mean, so maybe try doing something you never do. Just try to actually, like, when COVID, I built my own gym. Like, or I have my own gym in my basement. I have something called the Tonal too, which is like one of the greatest pieces of fitness equipment ever. We could probably spend the next 20 minutes just on the Tonal. I should get paid by Tonal. But like, I'm the type of that I don't need this people to put, like, I can come down in my basement and just get after it. Right. But I was like, I got to change it up. And I miss kind of that environment of a gym. So I hadn't done it since COVID. I stopped with a gym in 2020. So I just joined a gym again, right? Like, it's just because it's a network. And literally I was there like 2 weeks ago. I saw a guy that I went to high school with. He's like, "Dude, I've seen you on LinkedIn. Like, you got your own payroll company right now?" He's like, "We'll roll with you." And he like called me. I mean, it's a good sized company. It's like, my dad has this company. I've taken it over. He's like, "We'll roll with you." We're with, they're with a big box right now. And I'm like, that would have never happened if I didn't, all right, get back out there. Like, don't just be working out in my basement. And so I guess my point is, you just try something different. Join a group, do a different activity. Whatever that is, right? Like,
What you bring it?
or no, an art class. You're talking about art, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like a cooking class. I don't know, anything, because you're just going to meet people and
That's it. Just
share your
get out
story.
there and meet people.
That's it.
Well, it's funny what you're saying with the guys. "Oh, I saw you on LinkedIn. Da da da." Never I guarantee you, he was the guy that goes, "Man, Tim's doing. I got to call him. I got to give him a call. Every time he saw your post, I got to call him.
Yeah.
And guess what, folks? If you didn't know, if you feel like nobody's paying attention, that's a perfect example from Tim that somebody is watching, somebody's paying attention, somebody's looking at what you're posting, whether you like it or not, whether you think they are or not. It takes 27 contact points in marketing today for one phone call.
Yeah.
So if you wonder, if it used to be back in the day when we were all kids, it was 9. They said 9 contact points. See the commercial multiple times. You might see a billboard. Today, because we're bombarded by so much marketing, they say it takes 27 because we look at things and we go, yeah, I give Tim a call, but I'll wait. I don't even think he's going to be around next year.
Yeah.
And now
you got to get out of your comfort zone too. I will give someone credit. I hired someone like outsourced marketing for me.
Okay.
And well, you probably know her. I'll give her a plug, like Dagmar. She's been at our.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So she was doing my
German juggernaut. I absolutely knew.
Yeah. So
awesome.
She was forcing me to do things I would never do. Right. So I'm a guy that doesn't even have a Facebook or this and that too. I've always had a Facebook account or anything like that. So I had LinkedIn, and she was like, look, you're so passionate about sports and tying those what your lessons into business. Like, let's do interviews of you on the football field, like when you're at, before coaching your kids. I'm like, no way. Like, that sounds horrible. You're going to come before the game. Like, you know how worked up I am over 10-year-old football? Like, it's embarrassing. Like, and so what I found, and this isn't going to come as a surprise, do a post on compliance and HR payroll or like educational post, no traction, right? Do a post of me interviewing on a sports field or at a gym or anything like that. Boom. 100,
right.
Thousands like of views and shares and stuff like, because that's what people care about. Because people care about the personalized stuff, right? Or this, and it would just tie in sports. My point is, I would never have done that on my own, ever. Like, totally not comfortable with it at all. She forced me out of my comfort zone, and then it gets traction and people like the story. And so, my share, you got to get out of your comfort zone too. Just do something that you normally wouldn't do.
Well, that brings up a great point as you're saying that is other people know better than you do. Realize that as much as you think you know yourself, other people know better. I know Dagmar. She's great. We've had several guests on through her. And she is, when I say bulldog, I mean in the most wonderful of ways.
She's very direct, and I like that.
She's tried to put me in place on my own show. You need to do this. I'm like, I'm not doing that, Dagmar. That's not how I run. You change that guest to another day. Dagmar, that's the day we're doing it, or they ain't doing it at all. Because she don't care. She's like, this is what's happening. I love her. She's absolutely, I love her. But yeah, I mean, finding that person that can help break you out of your comfort zone and get you going in that direction, which actually just came up today in a meeting I had. It's funny you talked about the field. We're going to start, I'm buying my installer a tripod for his cell phone so that when he's doing installs, he can take time-lapse videos.
Yeah, people will watch that. They won't read anything, but they'll watch that. You post a video on that, they'll watch it all day.
An hour of him doing something condensed to 30 seconds. They'll be like, this is fascinating.
Yep. Absolutely. Like, yeah, that's what people watch.
Well, real quick here, folks, we're getting ready. It's almost last call here, so let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple with good conversation deserves good whiskey. This week's episode is brought to you by New Scotland Spirits, small batch handcrafted right here in upstate New York using local grain and real attention to detail. No overthinking it, no dressing it up, just a smooth, bold pour that does exactly what it's supposed to do. Shows up every time. Wish we could get all of our employees to do that. So whether you're at the table, at the bar, you're just taking a minute for yourself, make sure what's in your glass is solid. Check out New Scotland Spirits at newscotlandspirits.com. New Scotland Spirits, simple, solid, damn good whiskey.
I love it. I went to high school with him, I believe. One of the
Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse. I went to high school with him.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was a couple years younger than me, but yeah.
I mean, I hold it against him that he was an Army officer, and he couldn't make it as enlisted, and then he joined the Army also. Like, I'll tell you funny about him. So I'd have to dig through to find out what episode it was. I mean, we're talking like somewhere around like the first 10 episodes. He was still in the army, and the first barrel. I don't even think the first barrel had been made yet
Wow.
of New Scotland. And here him and I are interviewing with one of his first partners, and we went through this whole thing. And the interview was him. He had just jumped because he was a JAG, but he was also, I can't remember if he was 101st or 82nd. He had just jumped and came right from jumping while still in uniform, sat at his office desk, and we did a full on show.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Real quick here, Orchid said, if I hadn't come out of my studio and walked into chapter 2, Coffee Roasters, I wouldn't have my art up on the walls. Now, I think art's an interesting one that listen, guys, a lot of men think like, I'm too masculine to be an artist. Well, you ever heard of a guy Michelangelo, Leonardo, and listen, they're not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's where most of that shit came from. It wasn't. We somehow have relegated that to a feminine thing, and I'll tell you right now, I got back into. Where are you at? Are you up in Clifton Park or where are you at?
I'm in Guilderland. Yep.
Guilderland.
Yep.
So out your way in Schenectady, my wife and I started going to an art studio out there called. I'll give them a plug. I believe it's Creation Studio or something like that. It's right over by the community college where the sketchiest Wendy's in the world is. You know where that real super sketchy Wendy's is in Schenectady?
Yeah, my kids like trained with this guy at the Schenectady Armory, old Armory.
So yeah. I know what you're talking about. Absolutely. I know exactly what. So right across the street from there is where that sketchy ass Wendy's is.
Yeah, definitely.
Right next to that is this ceramic studio. So we started doing it. I'll tell you right now, it's been one of the coolest ways to kind of meet new people that I would have never met and as like one of the only dudes in the entire room. It's like, okay. And they're all like, and I'm making things like D&D dice towers to drop like dice into to play games. Like, they're like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's a dice tower. What's that? I'm like, oh, instead of rolling the dice, you drop the dice in there and it randomly just comes out. And they're like, oh, that's so creative. I've never would have. I'm like, yeah. They're like, I'm a giant nerd. I don't give a shit. But like my dice tower, dude, I made another one. It was a dice wall, so like you can throw the dice into, but instead of just being like a box, it looks like a blown up side of a building. Like mine are completely whacked out. They're like, what's wrong with this guy? I did a workshop for PTSD vets painting, and the men were the most. I'm telling you, we love men. Just too many men think like being creative is like, I'm not going to be creative. Dude, listen to me. Go be creative. Get it out of you, and then just punch somebody in the forehead afterwards. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Like create something and be like, I feel like a man now. I need to punch something. You'll be fine. So what's some of the things that you've got going on now, Tim? I know, and hey, folks, remember Tim said this is his first ever podcast. So if you got questions for him, you need to go ahead and get them all out now, because this is the only time that you're ever going to say that you had Tim Beadnell on a show for the first time. All the rest of them are just sloppy seconds after this. So
that's it.
If you have questions for him, let me know right now. So, but what's some of the other stuff that you've got going on that's coming up?
Company wise, or
in general, company wise.
Well, I made my life pretty simple these days. It's having fun with this company, getting our message out, getting that, just getting the word out. It's just telling the story. It's been organic, right? There hasn't been this big marketing or advertise. But other than that, I mean, my kids' sports and my family. Well, I told you, if you got average tenure is 20 years in the payroll industry. So my people,
she ran a call center, if I remember right. She ran a call center.
Well, maybe we should talk, even though you're just kidding.
She's in Tennessee, so I mean, she doesn't speak English.
Yeah, we have employees all through. I just went out and hired we have employees throughout the country. So where you live, I just hired somebody in Nebraska, but it's someone we know and trust. So, where you live doesn't matter as much these days. But Yeah, no, just company, and then obviously family. My kids we're pretty into, like I've mentioned, sports, and we have travel sports, and I look at people like, what else is there time for, right? Like, I mean, it's my family and building a company I'm proud of. There's not much time for anything else. So my
Oh
life,
shit. Oh shit.
she's hitting me. She's giving me the
Hold
push.
on, Cat. Listen, that's your wheelhouse, isn't it?
Workforce management. Yeah, I mean that's what we do is basically, yeah,
Kathy. I don't
manage
know.
the workforce. She
Oh
can
my
reach
god.
out to me. We're always just
I,
looking to connect with good people.
listen, but you may need a translator because when her mom, my aunt Pearl calls, "Hey, where's your mom at?" And Kathy sounds the same way. She's like, "I don't sound anything like that." Yes, you do. You sound every bit like that.
Well, it's like one of those things, like you never know you haven't, like
Uh,
you don't know you have an accent,
oh,
right?
I absolutely know. 100% no. Like you have no. I'm from Baltimore, brother. I spend any time around people up here, and they're like, "Are you from Georgia?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from Baltimore." Nothing like it. And look, Orchid said, "Yay, congrats on your first podcast." She wants to know what you would recommend for an artist trying to get themselves out there. That's a very interesting question.
It's yeah, and I don't know if I'm the expert on that, but I would
Come on,
I
let's
don't
see,
know
Tim.
the world, but I'll give it. I mean, I kind of reemphasize something I said before. Is you got to do something different, right? You got to try something different. You got to try meeting new people, doing something that you don't do normally do, right? It could be joining another group. It could be going to an event. It could be getting out in a chamber, whatever. There's groups everywhere. Um, and you'll know pretty quickly, is it a waste of time? But you know what I've found sometimes, man, like if you're like some sort of networking event or group or meeting you don't want to go to, it's always the one that you're dreading the most, or like this is going to be a complete waste of time, right? Where it's like it's gold, right? You meet somebody there, you have a connection, it leads to something else. It's always the one that like you're not going to do. So sometimes I always force myself to like kind of that mantra of like one more call, one more meeting, whatever, like that.
Absolutely, I'm 100%
One
with
more
you.
rep, right? But like, this is like, I'm not going to this. This is a waste of time. There's no ROI from it. I'll get nothing. And it's like you force yourself to go. That's where you make this great connection. You're like, I'm so glad I went. So, to her question, I think it's just you got to just put yourself out there, do
Do
something
one
different.
more. Do
Do
one
one
more
more.
painting.
One more, well, yeah, one more painting, one more call, one more event you didn't think you go to, like one more conversation that you wouldn't have had.
I absolutely agree with that. And just so you know, Orchid is not Baltimore. It is Baltimore. It's Baldamor. Baltimore. The our T's are completely D sounds, and it actually depends. I saw this recently, and it was wild. I'll recommend a show to everybody. Go watch. We Own This City with the hell's his name? John. I think it's Brennan. He's the guy who played the Punisher recently on TV. He also played Shane on Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Great actor, but he plays a Baltimore City cop, and this is post Freddie Gray in Baltimore City, and what is today considered as the most corrupt task force in U.S. police history, the Gun Trace Task Force. He led it. They would rob drug dealers and all these other folks all the time.
Well, you must have watched The Wire back in the day.
I watched The Wire, and The Wire I was good up until season 5, and then it jumped the shark for me.
Yeah, it did get a little while. I remember that. And we're going back a while, but I remember the first
Yeah.
couple seasons were like hooked, and then it was like, wait, what am I watching?
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna create a serial killer that's not really here, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, sometimes that happens to a show, but like that was like in its
yeah.
time, it was like that was excellent.
And, I mean, look at the people that were on the cast. If you go back and look at the cast of that show, you're like, wow, this is wild.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Orchid, no, you could have been a conductor on Mark all you want. So there is 2 different Baltimore accents. This is the wildest thing. Okay, real quick, lesson on Baltimore accents. There's 2 Baltimore accents. There is a white East Baltimore accent, and this is a real thing, and a white East Baltimore accent. Hey there, hon, I'm gonna go on downtown. Maybe go catch an O's game. We'll come on back. Maybe we'll sit down, have some crabs, head on back. Don't even worry about it, hon. We'll have a good old time, Mary. Be a good time. Listen, just come on with us. We'll have a good time. Don't worry about it. Them guys down there, they're fine. Don't worry about it. That's a very East Baltimore
I've
white
never heard
accent.
that from Baltimore.
Watch that show because he gets onto it and he's like, you'll hear him be like, Adrian Hahn, we own this city. You ain't gotta worry about that. This is our city. We run this place. And that's a real like I had my aunt's father. That's exactly what he sounded like. And if I spend any time back home, it comes back like
Oh,
real
quick.
hard. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
dude, I fall right back in. Like, I can sit. I went to a wedding recently for one of my closest friends, and while sitting there, there was like a whole table, and we were all from the same neighborhood, and I could feel my lips kind of like, "You're back now. You will speak our language," and it just happened. But if you go into like West Baltimore or areas like that, there's a different black accent, and it's more like they use like terms like "hey dear dummy," "hey dummy," and they're constantly that's like a big thing. There's a video of a guy, and they tell him to say "Aaron, iron, and iron, earn," and I'm over pronunciating it right now. And you hear the guy go "Aaron, iron, iron, earn," and it's all the words are different words, but because of the accent, it all just sounds like
yeah. Sounds the same.
So Baltimore's weird, like, but I love it, man. There's no
Well, it's
like
home
Mar
food.
but you know what? It's a cult. I follow a Facebook page called Maryland is a Cult. 100% it is a cult.
Yeah.
It is like if you go down there, it actually was recently ranked as the happiest state in America.
No kidding.
Yep. You get no but by this I bet you let's see, it's March. By mid next month, you could probably walk around in flip flops. The
Yeah,
weather's great. You can
yeah.
go
The
to the
weather's
shore.
definitely better. I mean, winters obviously.
Yeah, but you can go, but you still get winter, you still get snow. I can go to the Eastern Shore, hang out on the Eastern Shore, and drive back the next day. And if I keep driving through Baltimore and drive 2 more hours, I can be in the mountains. And you have it all right there. I can go. DC's 45 minutes away, so if I
Right.
wanted to go do that, I'm right there. But if I want like city life and doing all those things, I got all of Baltimore City. And just so you know, Baltimore is not part of the DMV, which is Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. Baltimore is not part of the DMV.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I don't know why we got onto this subject. I have no idea. It's completely a left. That's why I told you, man. We make all kinds of left turns on this thing.
That's not. That's what makes it fun.
It is. And listen, I mean, and we're down to just a little bit of brown liquor here. So if people want to get a hold of your brother, want to talk to you, how are they going to do that?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. Just look me up on LinkedIn. RecalibrateHCM.com is my company's website. But hit me up on LinkedIn. I think that's the easiest way. It's the only social media platform I do. I got to do more, and maybe I'll start doing more podcasts. But LinkedIn would be the easiest, and my contact information's on there. And message me. Would love to connect. Love to keep sharing our story, what we're doing. I'm pretty proud of what we're doing in the market. Pretty passionate about what we're doing in the market. It's just getting that word out there. But yeah, this is fun, Sean. I mean, I'm glad I did it. You'd show how many. I think I brought this up in like the fall. I was already booked to May. Or March. That's how booked
Oh,
this
yeah.
podcast is. So
I'm booking into June right now.
yeah, I believe it.
And even that I've kind of been backing off and being a little bit bougie about it, where I'm like, people reach out, I'm like, all right, this is when the shows are. Well, can you change? No.
Yeah, yeah.
People,
It's your
I,
show.
dude, it's 6 years. Father's Day of 2020, my wife bought me my first set of equipment before I upgraded everything. And this Father's Day weekend, this year will be 6 years of doing it.
That's awesome.
Orchid said she just followed you on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you.
Kathy needs to go follow you on LinkedIn. Uh, but seriously, man, this is great. Check out what Tim's got going on, folks. As I always say, if you found us through Tim, Tim through us, make sure you take a moment, figure out how to get a hold of him, give him that like, share, follow. Same thing we always ask for everybody. That like, share, follow makes a big difference. My buddy Nate just popped up. I'll do this for Nate real quick. We normally have a final question, but Nate normally has his question. So Tim, since we didn't even get into your college sports career and all that, but I'll ask this question, then we'll ask our final normal question. So, what is your go-to? This is Nate's normal question. What is your go-to win a game meal? whether it's with the kids or your own sports, what is your go-to meal?
Like meal, like what I'm going to eat or a place?
Like you won something. I don't care about if it's a place. If you're like, oh, I got to go to Ruck's for wings or Bacchus for wings, whatever it is for you. What is the go-to? Tim just won something or closed a big deal. What is the celebratory meal?
Yeah, the celebratory. So I might start with a Belvedere and club soda. That's what I might
Okay.
start with, all right, because I know you're a brown liquor guy, but I'm going to start. I'm a Belvedere guy, so I'm going to start with a Belvedere and club soda, and then really, man, I mean, just get any sports bar where we kind of all get together after a big win, like just different sports bar, and I'm kind of a healthy eater, so I'm pretty boring, to be honest. But I'm going to start with that Belvedere and club, and then I'm gonna relax and enjoy the win, and then kind of
carrot sticks at that point. Belvedere and club, and then carrot sticks for everybody.
That's it. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm not that interesting when it comes to food.
No wings, no like, oh, gotta have these wings, like Rusty Nail wings or something like that.
No. We put a Juniors in Guilderland. Like,
I don't like Juniors.
Yeah, well, that's there's not a lot of places in Guilderland, so we it was almost like we overused it, and then we had to like find different spots. I mean, so
you're not far from Cock and Bull, though. I'll even say that you can head out to Cock and Bull.
Where's that?
I think it's Glenmont. How far is Glenmont from you?
That's probably I mean, that might be like 20 minutes or so.
Cock and Bull. Yeah, that's I'm sorry, it's Galway. How far is Galway from you?
That's Galway. Isn't that like Saratoga County?
I don't know. I know we like to go out there like every so often. It's kind of a hike, but I'm in Rensselaer County.
Yeah. So
completely random conversation, folks. It means nothing to anyone who's listening right now.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you want a good meal. I just had it pop up on my thing. It said it's 51 minutes from me. So it's got to only be like 20, 30 minutes from you.
Probably, yeah.
Because I'm in Rensselaer, or outside of Troy, excuse me.
Yeah.
Highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you've never been, bro, oh my God. It's a steakhouse. Good steakhouse, like old school legit steakhouse. Like if you're like, hey, I would like you to wipe its nose and clean its ass and put it on my plate, they'll serve it to you that way.
I like it. Sounds good to me.
That's how you want it. Yeah, definitely. So again, folks, and now we got to ask the final question here, Tim. Don't log off on me afterwards. I just got to talk to you for a couple minutes afterwards. Well, that was wild. I didn't even want to do that. I don't even know.
That was very interesting. All of a sudden, I was gone.
It was weird. All right. Why is my Aunt Eileen put an angry face? Aunt Eileen, why'd you put an angry face? You never put an angry face. You've never given me an angry face on any show. I don't know what happened there. All right. That was weird. I have to find out. She's the nicest person in the world. She teaches me horticulture. So back to this question. So the guest always gets the final word, brother. What's the final word tonight?
Final word? Is it one word or just a
whatever you want? It's yours. You get the last word.
All right. I'm going to say, I think Sean will appreciate it. Because we talked about, wanting things, this and that, to get a job. My final word, I'm going to keep it just one word, and that's discipline. I think it's lacking today, man. Former Marine, you know it, discipline.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in.
This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.